Welcome back to another explainer. Now, today we're exploring something that literally defines almost every single aspect of our existence, but we barely even notice it. We're looking at how we structure our entire world just to create connection. Seriously, from the quiet corners of our living rooms all the way out to the absolute edge of the observable universe, we are constantly sending out signals. So let's just get right into it, because we're about to decode the invisible architecture of how we reach out to the world around us.
Okay, let's dive into this. What on earth do a beautifully designed living room in Pune, India, a double cheek kiss in Paris, and deep space radio waves actually have in common? I know, it sounds like the setup to a really strange joke, right? But the answer is actually incredibly profound. They're all highly structured, deliberate ways that we humans curate our space to basically say, hey, I'm here and I want to connect. And to really wrap our heads around this, we need to start at the smallest, most intimate scale of connection there is.
Section 1. Designing our personal spaces.
So before we can even think about connecting with the outside world, we have to establish our own grounding first. Think about businesses like AZAZ Interiors, which is a premium home development firm over in Pune. They exist for one very specific reason, which is to help people systematically design their dreams right into reality. I mean, we don't just throw a mattress on the floor and call it a day, do we? No, we curate. We purposefully choose premium finishes, gypsum false ceilings, and highly specific lighting. We do all of this to communicate stability, taste, and comfort to anyone who steps foot into our domain. And to really ground this somewhat philosophical idea in hard, tangible reality, just consider the sheer monetary investment required here. You're looking at market standard rates of up to 35,000 rupees just for a custom TV unit. It's wild. But we willingly invest these immense resources, our money, our time, our energy, into crafting these physical signals. It just proves that structuring our environment is a fundamental, non-negotiable human priority.
And this brilliantly illustrates the highly structured, methodical process behind it all, because it's not random at all. It's a strict four-step method. First, measuring the physical reality of the site, then rendering a 3D vision, selecting the exact materials, and finally, executing the finish and handing it over. This right here is the literal architecture of personal space. But once our perfect home is built, well, we eventually have to leave it.
Section 2. How the world says hello. Let's move to and see how this builds as we step outside the home and explore how we navigate shared spaces.
So, when we step out of those carefully curated personal spaces, we enter shared social spaces. And just like we design our homes, we use specific, structured greetings to navigate these new interactions. Think about the word hello. It's basically our ultimate tool for curating space over a distance. But did you know it's actually a very modern invention? When the telephone was first invented, the creators honestly had no idea how people should address an invisible person on the other end of the line. Thomas Edison actually popularized the word hello specifically to capture attention over the receiver. Alexander Graham Bell, on the other hand, stubbornly preferred the nautical term ahoy and supposedly used it until his dying day. Hello only won out because early phone books literally had to instruct people to use it. It was just a structured solution to a brand new technological problem.
Now, when we're face-to-face, how we say hello becomes incredibly physical and wildly culturally specific. Just look at this fascinating contrast. Over in Tibet, sticking your tongue out at someone is actually a highly respectful greeting, and the reason why is amazing. It proves you don't have a black tongue, which was the defining feature of a notoriously cruel 9th century king named Lang Dharma. So it's essentially a historical signal of peace. Meanwhile, in Gulf countries like Qatar and the UAE, men use the kashamach, where they gently bump noses together. We literally use our physical bodies as highly structured nonverbal signals to establish trust and show peaceful intentions.
And then, of course, we have the absolute social minefield of the air kiss, or la bise. The geography of this greeting is just hilariously confusing. I mean, are you in Mexico or Colombia? Okay, that's one kiss. Spain or Italy? You better go for 2. Find yourself in Russia or Ukraine, you are committing to 3 kisses. It's such a brilliant example of how we humans create these incredibly complex, localized rules just to manage the space between one another. Get the rules right, and you belong. Get them wrong, and, well, you've made things very, very awkward.
Section 3. Human intelligence meets AI. As our world gets more complex, we aren't just saying hello to each other anymore. We are introducing ourselves to a totally new kind of mind.
We are actively trying to map our biological intelligence, which is this messy, beautiful combination of IQ, EQ, and spiritual quotient, against the synthetic, data processing power of AI algorithms. It's like a giant puzzle. We're trying to figure out exactly how to interact with systems that can mimic our cognitive abilities, sure, but process the world in a fundamentally, completely different way.
So the crucial point is that the real dividing line between us and these machines is emotional intelligence, or EQ. It's our ability to recognize, understand, and actually control and empathize with emotions. This is the great divider. Because while an AI can calculate 1 billion data points in a single second, it cannot truly comprehend the emotional weight of a situation. Our capacity for empathy, emotional complexity, and consciousness, that is inherently unique to us humans.
You see, human intelligence is emotionally complex. We are adaptable to moral ambiguity. We can read the room. We inherently know when to give someone a hug and when we should probably just back away. Artificial intelligence, conversely, is built on cold, mathematical precision. It absolutely excels at high-speed data calculation and pattern recognition, but it is strictly reliant on its algorithms. So as we integrate AI deeper into our lives, even into those beautifully designed smart homes and communication devices we talked about, we are having to constantly bridge this massive gap between nuanced human emotion and strict, unyielding machine logic. Section 4. The Cosmic Hello. Now, let's zoom all the way out. We've asked how we say hello in our living rooms and to our machines, but how do we structure a signal for the ultimate unknown? Just look at this number, 1420.4 megahertz. It's a wavelength of roughly 21 centimeters. Now, compared to the warmth of a perfectly designed living room or the intimacy of a cheek kiss, this number looks incredibly cold and mathematical, doesn't it? But trust me, it represents humanity's absolute greatest attempt at connection.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is what that number actually represents. It's called the hydrogen line. Hydrogen is literally the most abundant element in the entire universe. And when the electron inside a neutral hydrogen atom flips its spin, it emits this tiny burst of electromagnetic radiation at exactly this frequency, 1420.4 megahertz. Because this specific microwave frequency easily cuts right through those thick clouds of interstellar cosmic dust, radio astronomers actually use it to map our galaxy. It is, quite literally, the baseline frequency of the universe. It's a cosmic beacon.
And because it's this universal baseline, scientists believe it's the absolute perfect channel for a cosmic greeting. Way back in 1959, physicists Cocconi and Morrison proposed that if an advanced alien civilization actually wanted to communicate, they would broadcast near this exact frequency, because they know that anyone out there listening to the stars would already be tuned into it. The SETI program actively monitors this channel, looking for signals that couldn't possibly be a natural harmonic, signaling artificial origin. We even used the 21-centimeter wavelength of this line as a literal measuring stick on the Pioneer spacecraft plaques. We used it to show extraterrestrials the height of a human, calculating it as 8 times 21 centimeters. I mean, how cool is that? It is the ultimate, meticulously structured hello sent out into the dark.
So from the premium gypsum ceilings we install just to make our homes feel safe and welcoming, to the exact number of air kisses we give a stranger, all the way to the 21-centimeter radio waves we monitor in the deep, dark black of space, we are fundamentally a species obsessed with structuring our universe so that we aren't alone. Which leaves us with one final awe-inspiring question to think about today. We've mastered saying hello to each other, and we are actively learning how to say hello to our machines, but what exactly are we going to do when the universe finally says hello back? Thank you so much for exploring with me today. Keep asking those big questions, and I'll see you on the next explainer.